Well, welcome back to Hog Boss Pickleball. We're glad you're checking out our second video in the journey down just the paddles of the past. And I'm really excited for this because one, it helps me try out my setup, get some videos ready, but also it prepares me to be able to be ready to review all of the new paddles as they come out, but also give you guys a little bit of just history of my past and how I got to the paddles I'm using, where I'm playing, how I'm playing, but also a little bit of just a look into just how technology has changed in such a short amount of time. But this next paddle arguably is my favorite paddle. Just the amount of times I've been able to use it. It's the first tournament paddle I used. It's the first medal I've ever got on a podium finish, which is pretty cool. And it's just, there's just something so special about this paddle. One, because the company itself is just incredible. Two, the paddle itself, I still think you can use it today and still compete. Yes, it doesn't have a lot of the stuff that the newer paddles have, but it has so much in it that it can still compete. And that paddle is the beautiful Vatic Pro Flash. And this is the beautiful metal. It was silver, we should have got gold. I blame my brother for that, but this paddle is incredible. I love this paddle so much. It's one, just beautiful. You get a little grip on there, but it is a pretty paddle. It still plays so well. So let's just look at the stats a little bit, because again, these are gonna be somewhat real reviews, but also these paddles have been out forever. There's reviews for them everywhere. So I just want to talk a little bit about the personal, how I feel about it, if I think it still can compete, if it's still worth buying, all that good stuff. And so the the Vatic Pro Flash 16 millimeter, which is this guy, it weighs about 8 ounces to 8.3 ounces. The total length is 16.3 inches. The width is 7.7 inches. The grip circumference is 4.25 inches. The grip length is about 5.3 inches. And the swing weight is between 114 to 117, and the twist weight is about 6.40 to 6.55. And that's just the measurables of this guy. Again, it's just a beautiful paddle. So let's just talk a little bit about, we'll go through power, spin, pop, control, sweet spot, and just the overall feel and how I feel about this paddle. So we'll start with the power, and I would say the power is still probably around a 6 or 7. With all the new technology that's in paddles, I can't put it higher than that. But I still think the power can compete. Like, you could use it today and still compete with some of the new paddles. And the power isn't amazing. It's not going to be incredible, but it gets everything you would want done without being too powerful. Like, if you're brand new to the game or have been playing for a while and want something that's just a little different than what you're using, this is something you could pick up and play with right away. I feel like you're not going to be overpowered, but you're not going to be underpowered either, which makes it really easy for beginners or people who haven't been playing that much or don't want that much power. This paddle is incredible for that. The spin, again, I would give around a 6 or 7. With all the new technology, the spin is insane on some of the paddles that we see today. But it feels good. Like, you can still spin it. You don't feel underpowered or the ability to spin is still there. It's not going to be insane. It's not going to be incredible, but even on your serves, you can get some really good spin on this paddle. It's a bit older, so it doesn't have as much, but even the amount, like, just looking at this paddle, playing with this paddle still, it shows you how much care that Vatic puts into their paddles, because it's still a capable paddle. It's cheaper than tons of paddles on the market. When it came out, it was cheaper than tons of paddles on the market. But it's still it didn't lose anything. It still feels solid. You can still use it, and it feels incredible. It still has the same amount of spin as the first day I got it till now, which is a long time, and it's played tons of hours, and it's just, there's something about it. It's so cool. I love it so much. And so the spin, I would say, is around a 6 or 7. Again, it doesn't compete really with all the new stuff, but if you're playing with it in a tournament now, or if you're playing in rec now, you can still compete with everyone. You're not gonna feel like your paddle is holding you down or holding you back. And I almost argue, if you're newer or just starting playing pickleball, this is gonna be the best paddle for you. Even with their new release that they just had, with all these new releases of paddles, this paddle still is probably the easiest to pick up and learn the game. Learn how to play the game right, learn how to play the game well, with still being able to have power to finish, with having spin to be able to aim your shots or practice spin on your serves or whatever you want to use spin for. It still has that ability, even though it is an older paddle. And the pop, I would say, is probably a 5 or 6. The pop isn't great on this paddle. It's not terrible, it's just not great. You're not going to get a lot of speed off the head of your paddle. It's not going to feel like insane. There's not a ton of pop off this, and that's pretty much all I have to say about that. It's manageable, it's still useful, you can still use it, but it's not incredible. The control of this paddle is awesome. I love the control of this paddle. Just being able to paint lines, being able to dink, being able to hit any shot you can imagine is pretty easy to hit. If you have the ability to hit it, this paddle will be able to do that for you. It's really good at that. I think the control is one of the best things about this paddle. You can pick it up and you can use it right away, and it won't take you a long time to get used to it. It won't take you a long time to figure out. It's pretty easy, pretty simple, but very useful. I love this paddle for that. The sweet spot, again, the sweet spot is pretty dang good on this paddle. There's not a lot of dead spots if you get kind of around these areas or down here, but anywhere in the middle works. The sweet spot is not bad. Yes, again, it's an older paddle, so there's going to be some issues with it, but like, this sweet spot's not bad. You can still, like, if you played in a tournament today with it, you would be fine. You could still compete. You'd still have a chance to win games. I wouldn't be worried about that at all. But also, if you're newer, again, it's something you can pick up as a beginner, but also improve your game and continue to improve your game for a while before you would need anything else to take that next step. And even though it's an older paddle, the next paddle I'm reviewing has a lot more power, almost too much power, but no control. So it's almost the opposite of this paddle. But this paddle is great. I think the overall feel, if you're just looking for something that's going to be cheaper, it's going to last forever, but also give you the opportunity to be able to shape your game, prepare your game, and improve in your game, I would recommend this paddle. It's just so cool. I just think it's such an impressive paddle for being 3 or 4 generations old, and still being able to compete. So that is the Vatic Pro Flash. And if you're interested in buying one of these or buying any other Vatic paddles, they just released their new Oni paddle. If you're interested in buying any of these, I'll put a code down below. It's a 10% off code. So if you're interested in buying one of those paddles, I'd love for you that support. And again, as I go down this journey, any comments you can give me that can help me improve my videos, especially on the journey videos, but when I post my review videos of the newer paddles, any comments that you could give would be just so helpful for me to be able to grow, but also for me to be able to just give you guys the best videos possible, to set this channel up for success and set you guys up to be able to just be a part of a community that wants to learn and grow and just be involved in what pickleball communities are doing. So any comments that you can give me for advice, any comments that you can give me for things you want to see in the future, any comments that you have about just the journey of paddles that I went on. It's going to be up and down. There's some paddles that I love, there's some paddles I didn't like so much. So anything like that, I would love for you to just be able to let me know. Give me advice on any of that stuff, but also any support you can give me, either liking the videos or sharing the videos or subscribing to my channel. I would love that. I would love that support. I just hope you guys have a great day. See you in the next video.